Hey, wrestling fans, welcome to the One Wing Wrestling Podcast, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bring you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Wing Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. My name is Krishna, and joining me, as always, is Mr. Bill Cupbush. Bill, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. I'm ready tonight for something new, something different, something that doesn't involve the damn rain that's pouring outside. Something that is lasers. I want to see lasers. I want
Oh,
lasers everywhere because I think that's what we're getting tonight. Because tonight is the debut of the new AEW look.
yeah.
Right? Because
Even from the graphic, all I see are lasers everywhere. So,
I know it's just lasers and more lasers. It's lasers upon lasers upon lasers. It looks like a stormtrooper shooting
yep.
fest thing. So yep, good times, good times. So I am actually quite intrigued by to see this new look AEW Dynamite tonight. But as all of you probably know by now, what we do here on One Winged Wrestling with Dynamite is we will be predicting tonight's show, going over the card, giving our thoughts, giving our impressions, predicting the winners, that kind of stuff. Then we'll be coming back after the show, after we've all gone and watched tonight's Dynamite, and we'll review said show and see if our expectations were met. And most importantly, to see if something met the now ever increasing, amazing Omega level.
Well, we can hope, right? I mean, we just recently watched Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. I don't know, Bill. I
Yep.
don't know.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom 17 review should be up if you're listening to this. So, go check that out as well if you want to hear our thoughts on Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, because and our fantasy booking concerning them at the end of that. But tonight at the end of the show as well, if you're wanting more Kenny Omega, more Will Ospreay, we will by the end of the night be chatting about the Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega press conferences from Wrestle Kingdom 17 as well. But you can look for that after our Dynamite review later tonight.
Yep.
So we have a card that we have to go through, though. It's going to seem kind of weird after that 6 hours and 13 minutes of Wrestle Kingdom, now following it up with AEW Dynamite. So shall we get into this card?
Let's do it.
Okay. It does look again like we're largely getting all elite wrestling tonight and not all elite talking. I'm somewhat impressed with the fact that we have a number of matches announced for this. So,
Hmm.
starting up, Ricky Starks will be taking on Chris Jericho.
Yeah, so we're building Ricky Starks now. So my assumption is Ricky Starks wins this match. Because Chris Jericho, again, he lost against Action Andretti. I'm thinking that Action Andretti may show up tonight to kind of handle the JAS if there's any interference from them. But I think this is going to be like Ricky Starks is good. Chris Jericho puts on great matches as well recently. So I said recently, but he's put on great matches. But again, he's up there, guys. So we have to remember that. Like he's still putting on good matches. So this is really cool that he's starting like a feud with Ricky Starks. I wonder how this is gonna go. Like, does Ricky just win the outright the first one, or does Jericho win the first one? I guess we'll see. But I think this is a good story for AEW and Ricky Starks. So I think this is gonna be a good match in general. But yeah, I think this is gonna be good.
Yep. Oh, for sure. And I think that we're going to see Chris Jericho win by shenanigans. I
Yeah.
think we're going to have a good match between these two for sure. I think we're going to have a lot of like kind of interesting moments between the two of them. See a lot of passion and fire out of Ricky Starks. I don't think that's going out on a limb. Chris Jericho will be his usual Chris Jericho self, but I
Yep.
think the JAS will be the difference in this. And I think you're right. I think it's going to require one Action Andretti to come down and give him a
Mhm.
hand. So we shall see how that all turns out. I'm looking forward to this match. Then we have the AEW World Champion MJF will appear live in Seattle to fulfill contractual obligations.
So I guess this is just more sports entertainment stuff. I guess I don't know. Like I like it's just I don't. This is I don't care for this. I don't care for this because who is he up like who is he challenging right now? Is it Bryan Danielson who's his next
Yeah,
challenger?
it's Bryan
Okay, so
Danielson.
So maybe he's going to be there because I think Danielson has a match tonight as well.
Mhm.
So maybe he's going to be there during that match or whatever. But again, I just unless he cuts a killer promo or something like that, I just don't care.
Yeah, I honestly, the less MJF I get on my TV screen, the better. I do not give two rats figs about this. I don't know what a rat's fig is, but I'm sure it's something that's not very good, and I don't care two of them about MJF. So, yeah, I don't, even the way this is worded, to fulfill contract, like, who are you trying to fool here right now? Okay, like,
Yeah,
seriously. And honestly, if he says one thing about the bidding war of
oh
2024, I'm
god.
just gonna want to like vomit in my mouth a little bit because, dude, if you want to see what we think of that, just go back and listen to our best and worst of 2022 podcast, and you'll find out what we thought about MJF and his bidding war of
Of
2024.
2024. Agreed.
Um, in what is likely another small talking segment, we are going to get an update on Hangman Page's condition tonight.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna get the hey, you're cleared for next week kind of thing. Hangman's like, listen, I love Hangman. I think everything he does just it's it's fun. It's never like boring. I don't think I've ever called. I think when Hangman first appeared on my screen back in like 2018, 19, I wasn't that impressed with him because I thought he was very vanilla.
Mhm.
But now I don't know what's changed exactly. His wrestling's on point. He shows so much passion. So even this little segment, we get an update. This is I am more excited about this update than I cared about Soraya's update. Right.
Oh yeah,
So
Saraya had an update, didn't she?
remember?
Saraya's part of AEW. Right, right.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
yeah.
So exactly, that's my point. So
Mhm.
I'm excited. I'm more excited to hear from Hangman Page than see MJF.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. I'm way more excited to hear from Adam. You know why too? Because John Moxley's going to show up during this
Yep,
segment. Because
of
I'll bet
course
this is
he
going to be
is.
like an in-ring update, and this is going to set up their feud. Because you know what's going to happen. Hangman is fine, and
Oh yeah,
so this is going to set up Mox and Hangman, and that's going to be awesome. Because there's a lot of fire and passion behind this one, and I love my fire and I love my passion. So
Hangman's
yep,
awesome.
give me all the fire and passion. Hangman has tons. Mox has tons. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of fire and passion, we are going to get TNT Championship match. Samoa Joe, the champion, Mr. T, King of Television himself, taking on Darby Allin.
Okay, so I'm a little torn with this match because there's another match on here on the card tonight that I'm thinking may steal the show. And but I'm also thinking this match might also steal the show because the last Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe match was awesome. It
Mm-hmm.
was so good. So I'm like, do I pick the Swerve match or do I pick this match as the match of the night? And I'm seriously torn right now about this. And oh my goodness, and I have to pick one. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here, even though I like my flippity flippity stuff, and I'm going to choose this match as the match of the night. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be awesome.
I would just like to point something out. As much as
Mhm.
you say you're like your flippy stuff, right? As much as you say you do, okay? And I know you do, because I
I
love my
do.
flippy stuff too. But I would like to point out there was only a little bit of flippy stuff in the Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay match. It was largely just wrestling,
But
and
it
it was
was
your it's
perfect
your
wrestling.
it was
It was
perfect
perfect.
wrestling, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so if they don't do flippy stuff, so what you're saying then is you can get a match great by just doing spots, but if you tell a super good,
Oh
amazing
yeah.
story, you will kick a spot fest match any day.
Yeah. And if you add Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay to that match, it's probably gonna be match
Right.
of the night.
So what you're telling me then is as we said earlier, Kazuchika Okada and Jay White, great story, but dudes,
Come on, guys. Just come on.
you're not in a school zone,
No,
okay?
no, exactly. Speed up a little bit.
Yes, exactly. For those of you who don't know, school zones in our area at least, and I know probably in the States too, have very low speed limits. So
Yep.
anyway, the yeah, so I mean this match too. I'm hyped for this match. Samoa Joe taking on Darby Allin. Yeah, their last match, like you said, really good. I love Samoa Joe so much. And Darby Allin's like the perfect opponent for him. So I am looking forward to it. Do I think it's gonna be match of the night? No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I think it's going to be it's one of the top three
Okay.
possibilities, maybe four. You know, there are
There are a couple
legitimately
of
four
matches, yeah.
matches on this that I think could be match of the night. I mean, Ricky Starks Jericho could be if they wrestle it well enough.
Mhm.
I think it's going to end in interference though, so not that one. Samoa
I know
Joe
which
will
one. I
probably
know which one you're gonna choose. I know which one you're gonna
possibly,
choose.
possibly.
And the match includes a woman with blue hair, so that's probably gonna be
Oh
your
yes,
choice.
of course. Yeah, that match, 100%. You know I'm going there, right? Yeah, it's my favorite women's wrestler of all time. Yeah, exactly. Um, but anyway, speaking of matches that could also be match of the night, we have Swerve Strickland with Parker Boudreaux and Grandin Gutzman. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his
Is that
last
his
name
name?
right.
Okay.
That's his name,
Okay.
Grandin Gutzman.
They should have changed his name because he's the tattooed guy and his name is Grandin Goodsman.
Double G, Grandin Gutzman,
All right.
taking on the man himself, Mr. A.R. Fox.
And again, this is the match I was fighting back and forth with, which is gonna be my 1A, 1B, whatever. Um, yes, this is gonna be an awesome match. Swerve versus AR Fox. Like AR Fox is awesome. Swerve is awesome. But I'm wondering what kind of role Swerve is gonna play and how much interference is gonna be in this match. I hope zero interference. And if there is zero interference, this again potentially could steal match of the night for me. But yeah, I'm excited for this match. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. Except I'm pretty sure it's going to have a ton of interference because they're trying to establish this faction.
Yep.
Right. So I got a feeling they're going to establish the faction. Someone's going to have to come to AR Fox's rescue. I'm going to say that's probably Keith Lee. So hey, I don't mind a Keith Lee AR Fox tag team either, but you know, I don't know. I'm just, you know, Swerve, your faction. The Mogul affiliates kind of suck. And I got a feeling that you're trying to establish this faction right now. And well, they kind of suck. I mean, good old Double G and Parker Boudreaux.
Like, what are these? They need to change these guys' name. Parker Boudreaux.
It's Swerve Strickland, super cool wrestler guy, hanging out with Parker Boudreaux and Grandin Gutzman. That's great.
It reminds me of that Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode where Jake is like in the department store and he's thinking it's Die Hard and he's like, I'm going to call you Gunther, and then you hear, okay, Matt. He's like, your name is Matt. He crosses it out. So it just doesn't sound cool. So
exactly. Yep. Well, then we have the AEW World Tag Team Championship being defended. We have the Acclaimed versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
So okay, so whenever I can get Jay Lethal, I'm happy. But when you're pairing Jay Lethal with Jeff Jarrett, I'm like, why? Why? Listen, Jeff Jarrett, great wrestling mind, right? And listen, he looks great for his age.
Yes.
Holy crap. And he's been wrestling well, but he's not on Jay Lethal's level. So let's not confuse things here. And he's got a very 90s mentality when he says a lot of things. And I'm like, okay, guy, whatever. And the Acclaim, I guess they all work together kind of similar. The Acclaim are really good. So I would prefer Jeff Jarrett in the background helping AEW with some of the booking and all this other stuff. That would be great. Not so much is being pushed in front with Jay Lethal of all people, right? So do I think this match is going to be good? It's probably going to be good. Nothing great or amazing about this match. And like Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt, like I don't care to see these guys. So whatever. I mean, I think it might be good. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. The match could be okay. I mean, like I've said, look, the thing I hate about the Acclaimed is not their wrestling. Their wrestling is fine.
Yeah.
I just can't stand their gimmick. Do you know who else's gimmick I really don't like right now in the year 2023? Jeff Jarrett. So I'm like you. Jay Lethal's the best thing in this match. And sadly, he's not going to get much opportunity, I don't think. I don't know where this match is going.
Same.
I don't know what they're doing. I just feel like the AEW Tag Team Championship is being in some kind of weird alternate universe wasteland right now, just waiting for the Bucks or the Lucha Brothers or like, a really good tag team to take it again so we can start getting some of those really high caliber. I mean, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett aren't even a real tag team.
No.
There's a ton of real tag teams in AEW that could be fighting for those belts.
Yep.
It's almost like to get Jeff Jarrett, Tony Khan had to promise him a run. And it's like, if that's the case, like, what the hell, man? What the hell? I get it. Is this what we're paying though for arena bookings? Is this what we're paying for?
I know.
A Jeff Jarrett run for the AEW tag team titles? I could really do without this. I would much rather see Private Party versus the Acclaimed. I
Same.
think that would be a really good
Though
match.
I think Mark Quinn might be injured, and that would which
Oh,
would explain why what's his name, Matt Hardy's been teaming up with Isaiah Cassidy.
that makes a lot of sense. Okay, well, I would rather see Matt Hardy and Isaiah
Isaiah
Cassidy.
Cassidy.
Yes, Matt Hardy wrestles better than Jeff
He
Jarrett.
does.
I'm just
He
saying.
does.
Okay. Well, that's that wonderful match that I can't wait for. And speaking of wonderful matches that I can't wait for, we have Jade Cargill and Red Velvet, the baddies, taking on Kiera Hogan, former baddie, now tag teaming with her former arch enemy, Skye Blue.
A lot of blue in this match.
Mhm.
Hogan's blue here, Jade's blue here, and Skye blue.
Mhm.
Only Red Velvet's the odd one out. But
I know.
as I've said, is that AEW has been able to camouflage Jade Cargill's limitations, I should say,
Mhm.
because they have built her up to this. Oh, she's the best in the world, or whatever you want to call her. But the tag match itself, this tag match might be good, right? This actually might be good. This might actually be better than the actual tag team match that sounds tonight. Who knows, right? Because 3 out of the 4 wrestlers here or female wrestlers here are pretty good, right? They can handle themselves. Like we said, Skye's gotten a lot better. Red Velvet was better before she got injured, and we know Kiera Hogan's good. We know that. We just haven't seen her wrestle that much, right? So I'm hoping that we are that I'm proven wrong, sorry, I said the match is gonna be good. So I'm proven right that match is actually gonna be good. Um, but we'll see. I think I'm gonna be optimistic, and I'm gonna say the match will be good.
Who's winning?
Well, obviously, it's gonna be the team of Cargill and Velvet.
Well, yes, because Jade Cargill doesn't lose matches, right? I mean,
No.
that's her whole gimmick. She never loses a damn thing. So, yeah,
Yep.
is the match going to be good leading up to the point where Jade Cargill wins it with some silly end spot? You're right. It might be. I got to give 3 of the 4 women in this match credit. But as our listeners know by now, I am not the world's biggest Jade Cargill fan. I will never be the world's biggest Jade Cargill fan unless she really does something to impress me. Um, she hasn't yet. I don't think this match is going to be that match. So yeah, is this match going to be okay in the death spot tonight? Um, Probably not bad. I don't think it's going to be the train wreck that some matches that have involved Jade Cargill have been. So, but I think that's largely going to be because she's surrounded by 3 decent wrestlers.
Yeah,
I'm a little
exactly.
bit sad that tonight we're not getting anything at all that involves the name Hikaru Shida. So she had a very decisive victory on I believe it was Elevation this week. So I watch
And
every Hikaru Shida
and,
match.
and also the House of Black were on Elevation this week. What the hell?
Yeah, did you see Julia Hart on Dark?
Yeah, I did
Oh
see her
man,
on Han.
that was one vicious
Mm-hmm.
finisher. Anyway, yes. I'd much rather see Julia Hart than I was called her Julia Black. I'm like, what? Julia Hart than Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, Kiera Hogan. I like Skye Blue. And this brings us to Bryan Danielson taking on Tony Nese.
Well, I mean, Bryan Danielson's awesome. Tony Nese is really good. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'll always remember that match he had against Danhausen where he killed him in like 2 seconds. But this is gonna be a good match because this is going to show the audience or remind them that Tony Nese is actually a good wrestler, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they're forgetting about. And this is a good job on Danielson again. He's gonna win. I know that, but he's gonna show like why Tony Nese is Tony Nese and why he should be actually on the main roster, not like on wherever he is right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming this is good. This is what you're predicting is going to be match of the night. Is my assumption. So like, and it could be this could steal the show again. Like there's, as you said, multiple matches on here that could technically steal it. This could steal it. If I come back like after we watch this and say, man, I was wrong, then yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But Danielson always puts on a good match.
Yep.
I'm just want to see now, can Nese keep up with him?
Yes, I think Nese can keep up with him. I've seen Nese wrestle some very good matches in NXT. I think that he has been criminally underused in
Mm-hmm.
AEW. I think he's a very good wrestler, and I think a match against Bryan Danielson here will do nothing but highlight what a good wrestler Tony Nese is.
Agreed.
Every match Danielson has against all these guys, they
Has been
always
great.
turn into these matches where it's like, holy crap, that was amazing. And I think this is going to be no exception. So I am not going to bet against Bryan Danielson on a night when we have zero elite on the
I
show.
know. So
No
weird.
Young Bucks, no Lucha Brothers. No, I mean, it's just, oh. And we have Adam Cole going. I can't believe Hangman Page gets a concussion update. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this match a lot though. I really think Danielson and Nese are going to put on a hell of a show. I think this could very well be my match of the night. If one of the other ones is like the ones we've talked about that could be solid, wouldn't surprise me either. This is me picking among four matches I think could legitimately be the match of the night because tonight does not involve anything named the Elite.
Yep.
So, yeah. So that is AEW Dynamite for tonight, our preview. You ready to go watch this show, Krishna?
I am ready.
Okay, let's do it. We will be back. And that was AEW Dynamite, the first show of 2023 and the first show with the new look and production. What did you think of that production before we get going, Krishna?
Well, we as we said, lots of lasers, right? Lots of moving lasers in the back room. So not the back room, the background.
It'd
I
be
like
pretty funny if they
the
put
back
moving
room
lasers in the back room, like no one
that
can
no
see
one can
them.
see.
They're just it
Um,
just looks cool back there.
it's odd because I got almost like I know the guy is a former WWE person, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did get a slight kind of mix of Raw slash SmackDown a little bit because of the colors that they were using, the red and the blue, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I see it, but it's, I mean, I don't know why they just didn't use the AEW colors, but like the red and the blue kind of gave me like a SmackDown vibe. It looked better. I like the screens, like I like they got rid of the two circular entrances. Like they come
Mm-hmm.
out in front of a screen now. Like I mean, production wise it looked well, we'll talk about the production later, but like production wise it looked good. I mean hey, you know um AEW uh since inception uh had very indie vibe to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This kind of it boosted it up a little bit. I think it looked better. Like nothing so crazy that like I'm gonna say that, oh my god, it's on the same level as WWE right now, but I'm like it's getting there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it looked better.
Yeah, I like the look a lot. I
Yeah.
really like the screens. The screens,
Hmm.
like they
Hmm.
really made the entranceway look a lot better.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice how bad the other one was till I saw how this one looked. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow, that looks
Yeah.
really good. Right. So yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
one
It was
screen before, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the entranceway now looks substantially better. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, and I mean overall I liked it. I think it was mainly the entranceway for me. I
Yeah.
didn't really notice
Anything else?
much
No.
else.
No. There
So
wasn't anything else.
no, no. And so that's fine. I mean, entranceway and some, like you said, red. I think they use the red and blue because it's just more eye attractive
Probably.
and they just kind of generate a little more intensity than I mean, the only unfortunate thing about the AEW logo is it's very warm colors and
Yeah.
kind of cozy.
Yeah, fair enough.
It
That's
doesn't
true.
exactly say, yeah, like energy,
We're here.
excitement,
Yeah.
fire, right? So a little bit of red thrown in there kind of helps out. Anyhow, they're in Seattle, Washington tonight at the Climate Pledge Arena, as we said earlier. Taz, Tony, and Excalibur on commentary as always. And we start with Chris Jericho coming
Mhm.
out, and we get Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. Jericho comes out with 2.0. The crowd, this crowd, just a
Yeah.
moment for this crowd. This
Yeah.
crowd tonight was nuts. They were nuts
Awesome.
all night, every match, right? There's a big Ricky chant to start this match. Jericho gives the crowd a finger, just making them hotter. He gives the like right out of the arm drags Ricky Starks, goes over to Matt Menard, gives him the high five. We actually get an Aubrey Edwards chant in this match too.
Yeah.
The match goes back and forth for a while until Ricky Starks does his best Fukugen death impression and walks the ropes, holding Jericho's wrist and then plants him. I know 90% of you have no idea what I'm talking about. That's okay. He walked
No.
the ropes and planted Jericho. Matt Menard finally grabs Stark's leg, but to no avail. Starks levels Jericho with a forearm on the apron, but Jericho lands the back rake, and the match is over. He pins him for 3. Just kidding. And thumb to the eye before suplexing Stark to the floor from the apron, getting a holy shit chant from the fans. They both make it back in the ring on the 9 count. Jericho takes control back in the ring, landing punches and a drop kick before the come on, baby cover. Stark gets back to his feet. They exchange chops. Starks lands a clothesline and a drop kick and a nice looking Liger bomb for a 2. Jericho goes for a lion salt shortly after, but Starks gets his knees up. He counters a follow-up code breaker with a thrust kick for 2, but Jericho counters a quarter run-in with a code breaker. But Starks blocks the Judas effect, goes for the Rochambeau. Jericho counters into the walls. Angelo Parker then distracts Aubrey Edwards. Matt hits Ricky with the bat, but he manages to stay awake, still fighting. He rolls over Jericho, gets an inside cradle for 2, follows this with an Escalera DDT, and he spears Jericho for the 3 count. What'd you think of the match before we get to the after match action?
You know, I didn't think Ricky Starks was going to beat Jericho just square in the ring with all the distractions happening, but he did. I like this. Again, I really like the fact that Jericho's really pushing these guys. The match was good. Like Jericho and Starks, they worked really well together. It wasn't slow. I like the fact that this is the Chris Jericho match. These are the type of matches I'd like to see Chris Jericho in, because he at no point looks his age in any way. Right, he looks like he's having the time of his life in there. Like these moves he's pulling off, the bumps he's taking, he's doing everything he can to help these young guys, and I really do appreciate that. This match was today is really tough because we saw such an epic match at the Tokyo Dome, and doesn't matter what happens today, everything will always be compared to those matches, or that match, to say. But this match was I had fun with this match. I thought it did well. It we'll get to the aftermath afterwards. But yeah, no, but I'm glad. I thought Jericho was gonna win. I thought Jericho was gonna win this match.
So did I.
And it ends up being Stark. So hey, you know what? No one can ever say Chris Jericho never job to anybody, because he really is doing his job, I should say, at this point, in building up these guys. And he's putting on some damn good matches. So I really enjoyed this match.
Yes, this match was quite good. It was quite good. I enjoyed it. It was a good opener. Crowd was fired up. Some good moves in this match. It was fast paced, like you said. Yeah, and the outcome was a bit of a surprise, but good.
Yeah.
I loved the Escalera DDT and the spear. It was a nice finish. The JAS, though, as soon as the match is over, comes to ringside and beats on Jericho. But then Action Andretti comes running out with a chair for the save. He lays waste to the JAS for a bit, smashing them with chairs, but then Ty Conti punches him in the nuts, and the JAS beats him down too. Jericho then gets the chair and beats on Andretti while 2.0 sets up a table. Hager powerbomb Starks through the table from the ring apron. I would like to point out Hager is now wearing the AEW shop hat that says "I like this hat" on the hat.
I didn't see it.
You have jumped the shark. I am done with your hat. It is now commercialized. Forget it. Me, wrestling elitist and hipster. No, man. No, your hat's done. I no longer like your hat.
I didn't even notice that. I just I was taken back by the power bomb. I was like, no, someone's coming out. Someone else is gonna come out. And I'm trying to figure in my head, who's gonna come out and help? Action Andretti and Ricky Starks are just outnumbered. The numbers game is they're just outnumbered. And nobody does. No. Jericho, at the end of the match, Jericho just sits in the ring on the chair and is smiling at the camera as basically Starks lies in a pile of waste of that table. Oh my god, just covered in the shards.
It wasn't a bad table shot. I've seen better.
While Action Andretti's just lying there beaten up because obviously his burn that's still on his face. Yeah, no, I like this because, again, this is the new storyline. It's going to be, Starks doesn't really have anybody. Starks is on his own, right? Action Andretti's just helping him right now. There's no faction or anything there. It's just Starks versus Jericho kind of thing. So I'm interested in where this is going. I do see tag matches coming out of this, right?
For sure.
And stuff like that. So, yeah, I like the storyline. I like where this is going. So yeah, I'm okay with this one.
Yeah, it was fine too. I mean, it was a beatdown. I mean, what they really should have done is taken his head and repeatedly smashed it into the table until they
No, you
break it through
can't.
the table.
That's copying. No, you can't do that. Can't do
Oh,
that.
well, that's fine. Anyway, we now get Hangman Adam Page is called to the ring by Tony Schiavone, and Tony says to him, "Hey, we've heard that Mox wants to challenge you one-on-one in LA. Can you go?" And Hangman says, "There's nothing I wanted more than to come out here and tell you that I'm good to go. But as of today, I'm not medically cleared to compete. Been told if I get into a fight, one more week, one more week. That's not what I want. I want John Moxley next week at the Forum. So, I'm going to get a brain scan. If it comes back good, I'll be cleared for the Forum next week. And I don't care if it's in this ring, in catering, on the roof. I know one thing. I will knock your dick in the dirt."
I was like, what? Yeah, when he said, I was like, what?
Even Tony was like, what? It sounds like something that they'd say on Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something. And like
I laughed. I was like, what?
Mox comes out and finds the ring pretty fast because he's like, I need to stop this. What's going on? So Mox says to him, "I'm surprised you even made it here tonight after everything you've been through. I'm getting a little sick of everyone taking something so beautiful and treating it like an unfortunate accident. I'm sick of the cards and flowers and ongoing vigil for a Hangman Adam Page. There's a big mic incident where his mic doesn't work. The crowd's chanting, 'We can't hear you.' He gets his mic. He gets a different mic and it doesn't work for a minute. And then he's just like, 'Hey guys, how about those Seahawks? Let's get this back on track.' It worked." So then he says, "When I think of everything I put my body through, torn tricep for 2 months, still working, getting shipped off to India and Bahrain, the places I've been, the crap I've eaten, the miles of crap I've crawled through, you play the victim because you got knocked out? That makes me absolutely sick." And Paige says, "You think I'm mad at you because you knocked me out? I've been knocked out more times than I can count. Enemies, strangers, best friends." Oh, Hangman. It's an unfortunate part of what we do, and I would never be mad at you for that. What I'm angry about is you called me out here and didn't let me get a word in and made a joke. You nearly ended my career, and you wanted to crack a joke about it. And I know why. You felt threatened. I know John Moxley would come back for revenge. That wasn't why I was there, but it's why I'm here now. I had time to stew on this, and I have 2 lariats in the chamber with your name on them, and you get them at the Forum." And then Mox says, "The only joke around here, the only joke I think is funny is that you think next time is going to be any different. Your little punk ass doesn't belong in a ring with me. I'm going to make sure next time you don't get back up."
Yeah. Listen, I love Hangman. I love Mox. I love the fact that Hangman totally didn't listen to the question that Tony asked him at the beginning. Are you going to be ready for LA? That's next week, Hangman. He didn't ask you if you're ready tonight, right? And maybe the question was loaded. Maybe you're cutting your promo and you were meant to come out and say, "Yeah, I'm not ready today, but next week I'll be ready. I'll be fine," right? Besides that, I mean, I laughed at the fact that the mic wasn't working, and stuff like that. But when these guys actually started talking in their promo, it was fun. It was so much fun because I love their back and forth because it just seems real. You know what I mean? Like Mox is 100% right. I don't feel sorry for you. Like, why is everyone and then Hangman doesn't say anything because he's not like he never says he wanted people to feel sorry for him, and he tells you why he's upset. Like he says, "I'm not mad at you for knocking me out." And I love the fact I've been knocked out by a lot of people, friends, enemies, strangers, my friends. I'm like, oh my god,
friends.
It's so awesome. Like I love Hangman. I love Mox. I can't wait for this match next week. Like these 2 guys. Like you guys can talk forever because I just want to listen to your back and forth because it's so over the. It's not over the top. It's just real. It's like when Eddie Kingston speaks, right?
Right.
It's just real. It doesn't sound 100% like it's just scripted like some other people, right? But no, I really like this. The minute he started talking about Mox and then the Mox music hits and Mox just races to the ring, I was like, wait a minute. What's happening right now? Right?
He needs to stop more dick comments is what he needs to do.
But no, I enjoyed this segment. This is probably one of my, if not my favorite talking segments of the night. It was I just these 2 guys. I just love them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for the fact that it was these two with this, yes. Did you see Trent Beretta's tweet after this segment?
No, I didn't see it.
He's like, I've had Dick in the Dirt written in a note in my phone for years, and now someone else uses it or something like that.
Oh, Trent. Oh, Trent.
Oh, it was great. Then we follow this up with a Samoa Joe promo, and he
Hmm.
says, "Let me tell you a tale of little Darby Allin, the tale of the little dead boy that could. You see, little Darby Allin said he wanted his championship back, but the king punished and pummeled him around the building. But the king had bigger dragons to slay, and he was pummeling the great mighty Wardlow. The dead boy decided to come out and get in my business. And now, after you've given your big pep talk about how everything is going to be all right, now you walk up and stand face to face with the king. But I am Samoa Joe, the one true king of television, and you pay a price for insolence in my kingdom."
Samoa Joe, like this guy, he's so awesome. He just needs to be cutting promos like this all the time on his enemies because it's so good. When we get to it, I'm interested what's happening next, but no, this promo is awesome. Samoa Joe's just awesome. That's
Yes.
just it.
Yes. Samoa Joe, Lord of the Promo, King of TV, at least for the next few minutes.
Yep.
So then we get the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. The Acclaimed champions taking on Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal. The Acclaimed wrapped their way to the ring. Krishna, was there anything of note in the wrap? Because quite frankly, I kind of ignored it.
Um, the only thing that I laughed at was the fact that uh they referenced that guy that got arrested recently, the Tate guy, Andrew Tate, I think his name
Oh,
was.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Um, the guy that you know he tweeted about his cars and how much money he makes to
Yeah,
Greta
the guy who
Thunberg.
pretends to be the champion of real men, but is actually super, super
Oh
misogynistic.
yeah.
Him.
Him, and then he tweeted to Greta Thunberg, and she had that epic tweet back to him, and then he got arrested a couple days ago. So
Yeah,
that guy. But besides that, yeah, no, not
yeah.
much else.
Cool. I never thought we'd talk about Andrew Tate on this
I know.
podcast. Anyway, Bowens hits a guillotine leg drop on Lethal early, and they combine for scissor me timbers on Lethal and Jarrett. Billy Gunn gets ejected. Fans don't like it. Jay and Jarrett then dominate for a while, but Bowens finally comes back, dropping Jarrett, making the hot tag. Caster takes it to Jarrett, and there's a plancha to Lethal on the outside, followed by a diving crossbody back in the ring. Caster tags Bowens, but then gets dumped off the top turnbuckle. Jarrett and Lethal double team Bowens, but he kicks out at two. Lethal puts the figure four on while Satnam Singh throws Caster into the steps, causing Satnam to get ejected in a giant spectacle of referees.
Mm-hmm.
Bowens counters the lethal injection, but Jeff Jarrett lands the stroke. Lethal pins him for three, even though foot is on the ropes. But as we knew exactly what happened the second it happened, Aubrey Edwards gets in the ring and reverses the decision. Bowens then rolls up Lethal moments later for the win, and the Acclaimed retain their titles as no surprise to anyone watching the show.
Yeah. So I bit on when they got counted. I was like, oh my god, are they really giving the belts to Lethal and Jarrett? And
Okay, I'm
and
sorry.
and
No one except Krishna.
I thought about it for a second. I was like, you know what? Why not? At this point, who cares, right? So I was like, okay. And then when I saw the minute Aubrey jumped in, I was like, oh no, they're gonna reverse it. And then the match itself wasn't a bad match. Like I was actually impressed that Lethal and Jarrett were actually doing some tag team moves. That little like kind of finisher they tried to do, I was like, okay, that was interesting. I had no idea what that was called, but that was an interesting move they did. But then yeah, but at the end of it, you're kind of like, yeah, but we knew uh the Acclaim were not going to lose this match, right? So again, the match wasn't that bad. And it made me at least bite.
Yeah.
At the end of it, I'm like, okay, so it didn't really do anything. It can kind of build for another match on Rampage. And that's it. That's really it, right? So I don't
Yeah.
know.
We get more of these guys fighting each other. I can't wait. It's going to be epic. The match wasn't bad. You're completely correct. The match was fine
Yeah.
until it got to the shenanigans at the end, which
Hmm.
was just WWE level stupid. I mean, the whole people interfering, blah, blah, blah. When did the tag titles become this in AEW? AEW was
I don't know.
known for this amazing tag division. What the hell happened?
I don't know. I
I
don't
know
know.
it's like dead silence. It's like what the hell happened? We had this amazing tag division that was like the epitome of tag wrestling in the world of wrestling. So many great tag teams, wonderful tag matches all the time. Now I admit the top two are currently involved in a trios thing.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happened to the other tag teams?
They're around. They are
Why aren't
around.
they fighting?
I don't know.
Like, seriously, Tony, wake the hell up. You had the best tag division in wrestling, and now you're getting one that's tantamount to the WWE's tag division. You got it headed up by the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. And then, you've got like a bunch of random dudes put together challenging them. What the hell is that? Seriously. I'm so sick of this crap around the tag team titles. These were the best tag team titles in wrestling. We used to talk constantly about how
Mhm.
good the tag team wrestling was in AEW. Where's the good tag team wrestling? The best friends wrestle on Rampage and stuff. That's great. They're one of the
Yeah.
best tag teams in AEW.
Yeah.
Why are they not challenging for these
It's just
belts?
it's yeah, just it's
I
just
thought
they're
wins
not
and
being
losses
booked.
matter as we were informed so forcefully later on,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
It doesn't.
Oh,
They don't.
sorry. This whole Acclaim title run and this whole crap with Jarrett just burns me up. It's like such a waste of my television.
Yeah. Yep.
Waste of my. I want to watch good tag team wrestling, not WWE imitation crap.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tony's in the back with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter. And he says, everyone's talking about the tag match next week, but who will be Saraya's partner? And Britt says, the bigger question is, will she ever get it? She doesn't get what this company means to us, to our fans, to our family. And Jamie says, she doesn't understand what AEW means to us. We're AEW originals. We're homegrown talent. And Britt says, we had a rocky beginning here, but we worked our way to the top of the women's division. What I don't know is if Saraya realizes it, whether or not she has the two best wrestlers in the world sitting next to her. And whether we like it or not, Sheeta and Storm are fantastic. How has she not made a decision about who her partner is? Saraya, you made an impact. Maybe it was your house. Jamie is the champion, but I'm the boss. She's the killer. I'm the pillar. Yours truly, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Yeah, I mean, this is okay. It's just trying to build a match that no one cares for. Um, like the tag match, like again, they're trying to say that okay, Saraya is making such a big impact when she hasn't done anything.
Oh yeah, I called her
Uh,
Saraya again, didn't I?
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
So I mean, I don't like. I mean, it's not. This is not on Britt or Jamie in any way. This is them being told you have to build that match, and they're trying. Like you have the two best wrestlers. Tony Storm is in that whatever. Anyway, I was like, okay, sure. And this maybe this is your house. No, why are you saying this stuff? Like this is not what you should be saying. Like she's done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyways, I was like, whatever. I get what
Yeah.
you're doing, but whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't Britain and Jamie's finest moment. It was
No.
it was it was okay. I like the fact that I was really scared for a second because Britt said, I'm the boss. And I went, no, don't,
Mhm.
don't, don't, no. Bad AEW. Stop. Fortunately, my fears did not come true.
Nope.
Then we get a promo with Jungle Boy Jack Perry very quick. He says, I'm not sure there was anyone left I could count on. The firm's a serious problem. So next week in LA, Hook and I will take care of business.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I guess that works. We'll see Jungle Boy and Hook in action against the firm. Okay. Like sure.
But dude, next week's Dynamite's looking pretty stacked.
It's yeah.
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 I mean, this is going to be like a soft match on it.
Yep.
Anyway, we then have Bryan Danielson versus Tony Nese, the match I said was going to be my match of the night. Newsflash, it was not my match of the night. It wasn't a terrible match, but it
No.
was not my match of the night. Tony Nese was already in the ring. And when I saw that, I'm like, well, then, okay, this isn't really going to be a serious match, is it? I also forgot this was close to Danielson's hometown. So
yeah.
of course, like Aberdeen,
Yeah.
Washington. So
Yeah.
the crowd was absolutely ape shit over
Yep.
Bryan Danielson. They
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get enough Bryan Danielson. The man could have just stood there in the ring staring at them for 20 minutes and they would have been happy. So Nese lands a guillotine right off the top and a running knee in the corner for a fast 2 count. All I could think when he hit the running knee was, that's not a V trigger, dude. It's
I
not
know.
even close. We saw so many V triggers today, and I'm like, sorry, like running knees should have just been banned from AEW television tonight. Anyway, he lands some punches. Well, they were sort of punches. I mean, they were some pretty weak looking punches. Like I said, I'm also getting spoiled with all the hard hitting all the time. And this was just like, oh, he's sort of punching him. Okay. But of
Sorta,
course,
kinda.
Danielson ends up no selling most of it
Yeah.
anyway and beats down Nese in the corner, drops him with a forearm, hits the yes kicks. Nese blocks the last one and power bombs him into the corner with one arm. That looked nice. Danielson dodges the running knee, though, nails the Busaiku knee, head stomps, Muda lock, and Nese goes out.
Yeah, I mean, while it lasted, it was a good match. It just didn't last that long, because they had to then build something else. But yeah, no, I mean, as I said, it depended what we were gonna get in this match, right? Like, were we actually gonna get a Danielson versus Nese showing? Probably not. We got somewhat of like a squash match, I should say. And it's just really to make Danielson look strong, but you didn't need to do that. You're already in Washington, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna hate on this match. It did what it had to do. It was just really a squash match. I feel bad again. I feel bad for Tony Nese. He deserves more than just this.
Yes, he really does. He's a good wrestler.
Mhm.
I would like to point out too, did you notice the difference between the Muda lock Bryan Danielson put on and the Muda lock you saw today in Wrestle Kingdom?
I did. Yeah, it looked different.
It was slightly different because Danielson got the proper Indian deathlock on first, like
Oh,
really
okay.
locked it
Yeah.
in before going up and doing the bridge to hit the head, right? To trap the head in. So he got the proper Muta lock on, whereas in the other match, the one leg got free and he
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
went with it and did it almost like an STF style.
SEF, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So the proper one is with the Indian death lock like Bryan, because of course it's Bryan
It's Bryan
Danielson,
Danielson.
the
Exactly. I was
man
like,
the technical award is named after. Yes. So yeah. Anyway, after the match, Danielson grabs the mic and he says, "It's great to be home and I'm feeling a little froggy."
it's Danielson. That's it.
Froggy. Love him.
It's
And I'm ready
Danielson.
for another fight. So MJF, get your ass out here. For a brief minute when he said I'm ready for another fight, I'm like, ooh, who's he gonna call out? Is it gonna be someone who's gonna have a really good match against him right now? Because that would be awesome. And then he's just like,
No.
MJF. Well, okay, fine, fine. It's MJF. And MJF comes out and MJF says, brain damage Bryan. You want me to wrestle you? How about no? I don't get my rocks off by putting my body on the line to entertain these schmucks. I don't care about them at all. I get paid whether or not I wrestle. It's why I'm a special attraction. But these people love you. They chant your name. But with all due respect, if Lance Storm and Dean Malenko could procreate and have a child, it would still be more charismatic than you. You saw the tweet I sent you
I
from
did.
Lance Storm, which was an epic reply to this because he said, "I would need to have a child with the Miz to produce to produce MJF." Victory, Lance
Ouch.
Storm.
Ouch.
Yes. Anyway, and then he says, "Looking like a goat doesn't make you a goat. I wouldn't be surprised if your mom couldn't find a human suitor." So Danielson says, "The boys in the back talk about how your mom has had so many suitors they would fill this arena." Yep, we have degenerated to
Yep.
mom jokes. MJF says, "Shut your mouth. You're delusional. You think you're the best in the world, but I am. The championship proves it. Who died and made you king of wrestling? Journalists living in their mother's basement or these unathletic marks? I've been touted as the best in the world by people like," and no, I legit laughed at this, people like Disco Inferno. I'm like, yes, all right. Oh my god. Anyway, I could go on about Disco Inferno, but I will not. Eric Bischoff and the smartest of them all, and my number one fan, Jim Cornette.
Cornette. Perfect.
Yep. I was like,
I laughed.
yeah, Jim Cornette. Of course he's your number one fan. Danielson says, "I think I agree with the people in Seattle. Just shut up." And I was thinking, yes, I also agree with you, Danielson. He says, we've heard this spiel a million times. Yes, we've heard it a million times. Okay, I hit a mom joke, but I hate you. And it's time for us to fight. And MJF says, slow down. Taz, can you believe this guy's anger issues? Bryan, I came here as a favor to smarten you up. It's not play wrestling, it's pro wrestling. Wins and losses matter, apparently.
Apparently, yeah,
You need to
exactly.
become number one contender, apparently. So I talked to Tony Khan. You have to wrestle every week and win until February 8th, and that would make you the number one contender. If you can do that, I'll give you a match March 5th at Revolution. No questions asked. And Bryan Danielson goes, no.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wrestle whenever I want, and eventually I'll be number one contender.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was the best
Yeah.
answer ever. It's like, this guy understands how it works. I can just wrestle, win, and become the number one contender. You don't get to tell me when I have to wrestle. I can just go wrestle. And MJF throws a temper tantrum and says, if you don't do it my way, my lawyer will make it so you never wrestle for this belt again. It's my way or no way. And Danielson goes, Sterling's a horrible lawyer. You think he's going to make that happen? But listen, fine, I'll humor you. I'll agree to your stipulation if I make the stipulation at Revolution. And MJF says, pick a stipulation, moron. Danielson says, in this stip, you can't get disqualified. You call yourself the best professional wrestler? Well, my challenge is a 1 hour Iron Man match. And I sat in horror as I realized I might have to watch MJF wrestle for an hour. I'm like, I get Danielson for an hour. Awesome. Against MJF. And MJF says, you're on, but you won't make it past week 1 because you're a choke artist. And Danielson says, well, we're going to see. I'm going to run through every single opponent you put in front of me from now until February 8th. And then when we get into that 1 hour Iron Man match at Revolution, I'm going to expose you. I'm going to expose that you don't have the cardio, the work, the footwork. The reason you don't wrestle is because you're not good enough to wrestle every week. And after I expose you in front of these people, I'm going to put the nail in the coffin and kick your damn head in. And that was it. What'd you think?
Well, I mean, I think the promo went longer than the match. Again, MJF just spouting the same nonsense he always does. Like this entire, you got to run through all these people to get to me. We've done this already. We've done this so many times already. But whatever, it's Danielson, so I'll accept it for this. I do like the fact Danielson calls him out for the 60-minute Iron Man match where he says, I'm going to expose you.
60 man match.
How would they keep track of that? But like, I think this is a smart move. And the reason I'm saying it's a smart move is because right now, Tony Khan and everyone knows MJF is being questioned about his wrestling abilities. So how do you fix his wrestling ability? Yeah, you could throw him on to the like matches every single week. That's one way. Or you can have Danielson carry him through a 60-minute Iron Man match, which is going to happen. Danielson's going to carry him through it. MJF's probably going to beat Danielson for it. I hope not. I hope Danielson wins. But by the end of the match, we're gonna say, you know what, that was a pretty goddamn good match. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be 100% Danielson. The reason why that match is going to be so good, because yeah, we'd love to see Danielson wrestle for an hour, but against MJF, like,
I know.
Oh god,
I know. Like, could we have his opponent next week in a 1 hour
right?
Iron Man match with him? Because that would be pretty great.
Oh my goodness! But yeah, no, I love the fact that Danielson threw in the mom joke and then apologized for it.
Yes.
Okay, I threw in the mom joke. He apologized.
I love Danielson so much. He's so amazing.
He's so good. He's so good.
Yeah.
And the fact that they never really let him talk, but I like this. He's gonna have a little feud now with MJF. Unfortunately, we won't actually get to see them wrestle till March. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but yeah.
I mean, MJF is a spectacle. Well, you know what this means, that we're going to get a whole series of, like, Bryan Danielson matches now till February 8th. So yeah, I mean, sounds good to me. I'm looking forward to watching him wrestle constantly. And then, like you said, I'm looking forward to seeing how Bryan Danielson carries MJF. How is he going to have an epic Iron Man match against a totally mid wrestler?
Yeah.
He's the middest of the mid.
The mid. Yep.
So MJF, good luck.
Good luck.
Yep. Enjoy being carted around on Bryan Danielson's back through 60 minutes of wrestling.
Yeah.
Should be great. Congratulations. Then we get Swerve Strickland with Parker Boudreaux and a guy they refuse to
Tim
identify as
name.
Grandin Goodsman for whatever reason. It's like, that's his name, guys. It's Grandin Goodsman, ex-professional baseball player. So anyway, Swerve Strickland is taking on AR Fox. Swerve is from Tacoma, Washington, and might as well have been the face in this match
I
because he
know.
gets cheered constantly. AR Fox, by the way, they mention on commentary 2 seconds before the match starts that AR Fox was Swerve's mentor at one point, and this they have some history, and this is
Oh,
Swerve really
yeah.
trying to overcome his mentor. Again, AEW. Wouldn't that have been a wonderful story to tell? I mean, maybe there
Before
was
the
a pro. I mean,
match.
I didn't watch the video package before, their like
Oh
Road
yeah, yeah,
2
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Maybe it
yeah,
was
yeah.
mentioned in there. I don't know. I didn't watch it this week. I was kind of busy with Wrestle Kingdom stuff. Um, but regardless, this should be something you talk about on the damn television set once in a while. That would be really great. Anyway, AR Fox is already in the ring. Another already in the ring. Poor guy. Starts with some fast flips, both trying to get the advantage, but neither can. I mean, some really fast flips and some really interesting reversals, counters, dodges. It was pretty great. Fox finally gets the advantage with a pump kick and a moonsault to the outside, but back in the ring, he hits a chancery corkscrew brainbuster. Thank you, Excalibur. And the sit out lariat in the corner. Grandin then gets him behind the ref's back. I refuse to not call him Grandin until they give him a name. And Swerve takes over, throwing him around the outside of the ring. During the commercial, Tony pauses for a moment and says, "Can I just say this, guys? MJF sucks." And then Taz gets upset with them. This was the commercial break. Swerve then works Fox over. I'm so glad I can now hear all the commentary during the commercials. It's pretty great. Swerve works Fox over for a while, including a cravat he maintains, grinding Fox down. They exchange kicks. Fox dodges a lariat, hitting an enziguri and a diamondback elbow. He goes for the cutter, but is countered by Swerve into a German suplex for two. But Fox ends up going to the top. Swerve knocks him off, but it was bait. Fox hits a cutter, the iconoclasm, and a second cutter, followed by a 450 splash for a near fall.
Mm-hmm.
Fox then sets Swerve up on the turnbuckle, but Boudreaux passes Swerve something while the ref is distracted, leading to Swerve doing something to Fox that was never really clear, and then gave him what must have been the worst and I mean worst as in hardest hitting, oh my god, Death Valley driver on the apron. AR Fox, I'm pretty sure was pronounced DOA. Swerve rolls him in the ring, decides to hit the double foot stomp to him anyway
Anyways, yeah.
for the 3 count. Ouch. What'd you think?
These two guys are they're awesome. They're so good. Swerve. Yeah, you're right. I wish they'd given us the information that they knew each other and had some history, but again, they didn't really play much into the match. I mean, these two guys are just like crazy high flyers. They do some of the craziest things. Like even something simple as like AR Fox jumping from outside, like through the middle rope to roll Swerve up into a move to then like kind of spike him down. I was like, what the hell was that? And then I'm thinking to myself, the reason you can do that with Swerve is because he's so flexible and so athletic that he can do the roll up from that position into that move, right? So I'm like, yeah, they just work so well together. I really like this match. Yeah, the cheating and stuff like that. I guess this is where it's going because Swerve is the bad guy. That spike onto the apron was vicious, and obviously he had to go to the stomp to get the win. But yeah, no, like I'm glad they're using AR Fox. I'm happy. Like again, not a big fan of the mogul affiliates. These two other guys outside are just a bunch of
But Grandin,
bargain basement lackeys. But yeah, no, Swerve is awesome. I love Swerve. I love AR Fox, and they can go as we can see tonight, right? This was I really like this match. Again, but not my match of the night though.
interesting, because it's not my match of the night either. Then again, neither was the Tony Nese Bryan Danielson match. So clearly, we still have our match of the night coming. Renee is in the back with Saraya, Tony Storm, and Hikaru Shida. And Renee says, there's a lot of words being thrown in your direction, Saraya. And Saraya says, yeah, well, Britt is being Brit. She's geek. Yeah. Apparently, she's doing something that I cannot pronounce. Britt is gatekeeping the women's division. We're just trying to advance it. She's holding it back. Tony Storm says, God forbid it should be anyone but them. I got screwed out of my championship. They busted up my face. That's not cool. Go talk to Hangman. Okay.
Mhm.
Like, you shouldn't complain about that. That just happens in matches. Renee says, "Who's your partner?" And Saraya says, "Hey, I'm trending every week. Yay, me. We have the best roster in the world, the best matches. I'm sitting next to the best wrestler in the world. Tony Storm, you're my partner." And Sheeta looks like, what
What?
the hell just happened right now? She looks very exasperated. All I know is that those two just made the biggest mistake of their life,
Mhm.
because Hikaru Shida will destroy both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, very odd segment because really made Syria look like an idiot the entire time, like her and Tony Storm, and yeah, it's kind of like you're disrespecting Hikaru Shida right to her face, like right there, and even Renee was kind of like, well, I guess that's it,
Yeah.
right, and it's such an climatic kind of like, oh, well, Tony, you're gonna be my partner because you're the, I was like, what? Okay, sure, whatever. Like I didn't care for the match anyway, so I really don't care who you chose as partner. But but I kind of hope Hikaru Shida goes bad here. I really do. I hope she turns heel and takes them out. That's my
I
wish.
I advised to her her upset tweet on Twitter. I responded to her telling her to go find Maki Ito and make a tag team and destroy them.
Yeah, just beat them
I'm
down. Like
hoping she takes my advice and does so. Hikaru Shida, if you are listening to our podcast, and of course we all know you are naturally, please go find a really good tag team partner. I have since learned that Maki Ito is busy in a tag league right now in Tokyo Joshi Pro, so she will be busy for a while. But I'm sure there are some other women out there, not named Mercedes Monet, who would be very happy to be your tag team partner and just destroy these two women, because that would be pretty great. Or just handicap match them. It's just Tony
beat them
Storm.
both up. Yeah.
We're not all that worried, to be honest. But boy, did they make a big mistake with
Mm-hmm.
Hikaru. I mean, look, I don't get it. Saraya sees the match last week. She sees Jamie Hayter go to the limit with Hikaru Shida. Hikaru Shida almost takes Jamie Hayter down. One of the most epic women's matches ever on AEW television. And she goes, "Nah, I'm taking this one." Yeah, okay. I did, however, I gotta tell you, I breathed a massive sigh of relief in this promo, because I'm like, she chose Tony Storm. Okay, that's fine. You're not choosing anyone from the
Anyone else?
outside.
Yep.
This is great. Go ahead and have your tag match now. I'm okay with it. And Hikaru Shida is going to kill you.
Yeah. No, they're losing that match. Sheeta's fully turning and costing them that match.
Yes. And I'm okay with a bad Shida as well.
Same.
I just want more Hikaru Shida. So the guns come out. They have a big banner on the back that says FTRIP. The date on it, though, was December the 21st, 2022. It really should have said January 4th, 2023. The music is sad. And I mean, like, sad as in like actual crying sad, not like if the music was sad. The Guns do a bit of honoring the legacy of FTR kind of in a jokey, sarcastic manner, making it seem like FTR sucks. And then all of a sudden, FTR's music hits. And I'm like, okay, listen, we all know
Yeah, they're not
FTR's
here.
not there, okay, unless they took the fastest plane ever from Japan. I didn't know the Concords were still in service, right? Um, so FTR's music hits, no one comes out, but it's a joke by the Guns. They say FTR will never wrestle in AEW again. Top Guns out.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think about this promo because I was like, we all know that FTR was in Japan, so
Yeah.
they were coming out. The celebration was again, AEW loves doing these celebrations for some reason,
Yeah.
and I guess it's eulogy at this point. I don't know how this progresses the story. Uh, FDR comes back angry. Is that what happens? And the Guns just keep making them angry by telling them how much they suck because they've lost everything now, right? Are you starting from the bottoms? I don't know what they're going with this, but okay. I just said, to me, I look at my watch. I'm like, we got a couple matches left and not that much time left to
Yeah.
have these matches. So
Yeah.
what's going on?
Well, clearly they needed time for this, right? I mean, they really absolutely had to put this on tonight's show. It was totally necessary in the just amazing AEW tag team division now, where we have the Guns doing this with FTR, and we have like the Acclaimed fighting Jeff Jarrett. Okay,
Yes.
like, that's our tag division right now, people. That's our tag division. Don't get me started again, or we will be here all night. Speaking of tag teams that are better than some of the ones we've seen in AEW recently, Kiera Hogan and Skye Blue are taking on Jade, Cargill, and Red Velvet. Red Velvet starts the match against Skye. Blue, they do a lot of quick pin attempts, which were
Yeah.
pretty good.
Mhm.
Blue lands a running knee. Oh, Blue. Wrestle Kingdom happened today. And
Maybe it's
tags
just
out.
maybe everyone's just honoring,
Oh, that could be. Maybe you're right.
right?
Maybe these are just people attempting to honor Kenny Omega. I mean, he
Yeah.
is the wrestling god. Maybe this is their method of worship, right? So Hogan hits a hip attack, leg drop for two. Skye gets tagged back in, spikes Velvet with the DDT. Jade Cargill tags herself in and hits Skye Blue with a pump handle facebuster, drops her to the outside with a forearm, and beats on her for quite a while. Skye eventually makes the tag again, but Jay hits the Eye of the Storm to Kiera. And then she starts jawing at Red Velvet, pats her on the head for the tag. Kiera gets the advantage almost immediately on Red Velvet, hitting a sliding lariat, followed by a suplex, but then Jade tags herself in again, hits the pump kick and a choke slam, goes back to Red Velvet saying, look, I laid her out for you. You good now? And Red Velvet's like, I've had enough of this, and she leaves. Kiera rolls up Jade for two, and then Jade hits the pump kick and pins Kiera for three.
Yeah. Again, not a terrible match. I do like the fact that they've broken up the baddies basically. So there you go, Bill. At least one thing they're doing for you. They're breaking them all up, right? Red Velvet needs to get out of there because she needs to have some singles stuff. Like the women's division needs to do some other things. As I watch this match, I'm like, who Jade Cargill reminds me of? Sheamus. And the reason saying that, and I know a lot of there's people are gonna say that Sheamus is a better wrestler. He is, but it's that pump handle kick she does. All she does is that stupid kick over and over to the point where I'm even with Sheamus's kick, I'm always like, that kick is very unavoidable, right? You get hit sometimes. And I actually, listen, I do care about the well-being of our wrestlers as well. Do some other things. Like Sheamus does have other moves he can do, kind of like, like I guess Jade, they don't have that many moves they do, but like, it's just like, okay, this pump handle kick, do something else. That move she did on Kiera Hogan where she spun her, I actually thought at one point, I'm like, did you land on her head the way you friggin' swung her around? I was like, what is wrong with the Tony Khan? Like, she needs to wrestle and practice more. You can't just put her out here on like the big stage just because she's 47-0 now. I wonder how she got that, right? It's like, listen, when the other women were in the ring, they wrestled fine. They actually wrestled very well together. You bring in the big guns, I guess you want to call her, and all she does is kick people in the face.
Yeah,
right?
It's just she's atrocious. She's
Like
bad.
she gets exposed. You expose her by doing this, right? So, hey, what am I gonna say? Like, I'm not the one booking here, but like at this point, who's gonna beat her? Like, what are we going up to 100? Like, is she's the next Goldberg? Is what I'm seeing here? Are we going to 50? I'm over this. I'm like, so when she loses, eventually, whenever that's gonna be, what's gonna happen now? Right? Who's like, I don't know what they're doing with this. I really don't.
Yeah, I hated Goldberg, and I strongly dislike Jade Cargill, as anyone who listened to our best and worst of 2022 would know. Yeah, she's terrible. But you know what the problem is, Krishna? You and I are in some kind of weird minority land because
Everyone
we are
loves her.
wrestling elitists and we look for elite wrestling.
Yep.
Jade Cargill is not elite wrestling.
No.
Jade Cargill is someone the fans love, though. The pop she got when she came out, there was a Jade is gonna kill you chant going on. I'm like, come on, people. Are you all blind?
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm blind. I have no idea. I can't stand her. She's terrible in the ring. She has three moves, and that's about it.
Yeah.
She can barely wrestle her way. I mean, at least her moves like hit now, and she doesn't look like she's just stumbling around. So there's been that much improvement. But she just, like you said, it's boring. It's so
Yeah.
boring. It's the same stuff over and over and over again. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't
There's no
care.
wrestling in it.
No,
It's just
but
this pump out kicks. It's it.
yeah, exactly. A bunch of pump kicks. And that's all she does. Pump kicks and, jaded. And she does that one Skye, whatever the heck she calls it.
Yeah. Whatever.
Storm, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, Skye Blue versus Red Velvet. I'll take that match
Yeah.
though. That
They're
that was
good.
pretty
Yeah.
that was pretty good. Yeah, I like the little roll-ups and stuff. There was some good stuff going on there. We get Renee in the back with the Lethal Gang. At the Battle of Belts coming up this Friday. I didn't know we were getting Battle of the Belts this Friday. There's a no holds barred match. Jarrett calls it Carney BS. I couldn't agree more. It is in fact
Carney.
BS.
Well, I love the fact that Jarrett was like, "Oh, yeah, 10 referees out there, so of course we knew it was gonna happen." I'm like, Jarrett, you're saying what we all are thinking, basically,
Exactly.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're getting them again. And at this, they're gonna lose again because if no hold bar, guess what? Then Billy Gunn's gonna interfere. It's
Yeah.
just gonna be an interfere fest, right?
Well, that's
Uh,
how the Acclaimed wins their matches, right? Billy Gunn interferes and beats the opposing team for them.
so heel tactics.
Yeah, isn't that how they won the championship? Pretty sure that's how they won the
That's how they
championship,
won. That
wasn't
is
it?
how they won the
Yeah,
champion
yeah. I
from
mean,
Swerve
yeah,
and Keith Lee.
Billy
Yeah,
Gunn won the championship for them.
I don't know. I don't care about this match. So
No, I don't care about this match at all. I'm going to stop talking about it. I have a question for you.
Mhm.
How did Skye Blue earn a championship match on Rampage after losing to Jade Cargill just now? I thought wins and losses in this company matter.
Well, Bill, if they wins and losses do matter, so maybe she has so many losses, more losses than everyone else, that she qualifies for a championship battle. They didn't say you had to have the most wins to qualify.
Oh, wins and
They
losses
said
just
wins
matter. Oh,
and
you've been on such
losses
an
matter.
amazing losing streak that you get a championship title. It's like you lose to the champion, now get a title shot.
Yep. There
Oh,
you
okay.
go.
They're going with that now. So they
Yeah.
really did hire a dude from WWE,
They
didn't
did.
they?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Oh, but we're also getting Top Flight versus Mox
Hmm.
and Danielson.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna
On
be good.
Rampage. Yep. And then the big announcement, Bryan Danielson taking on Konosuke Takeshita next week on Dynamite.
Oh, can we like these are the things where you're like, okay, we know the Death Triangle match versus Elite is going to be probably the number one match, but Danielson versus Takeshita,
I know.
that
I
could steal the
know.
entire show.
It totally could.
I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know. I don't know.
I know. It's going to be amazing. It is absolutely going to be amazing. Then we get to the main event, TNT Championship match. Samoa Joe taking on Darby Allin. And we get a long Darby video entrance skateboarding to the Climate Pledge Arena. This is his hometown. I did
Mhm.
not know this was
Neither did
Darby
I.
Allin's hometown, and this
Neither
is
did
AEW,
I.
not WWE. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hmm.
Yep.
So he goes right after Joe after he chokes Nick Wayne at ringside. Remember Nick Wayne of Will Ospreay match
Yep.
fame? Yes. He lands a skateboard on the back of Joe from the ramp. He grabs a ladder, decides life is not something he needs, so he climbs the ladder and somersaults onto Joe. He messes his knee up on the ramp, though, and that looked like a legit slight
Yeah.
mess up of his knee. Because
Yep.
that knee, although the announcers tried to sell it as, well, the
He
knee
hit.
connected with
Yeah.
Joe, that knee went nowhere near
No.
Joe, and he just landed awkwardly on the ramp from the top of a giant ladder. What did you expect, Darby? Darby drags Joe back to the ring and the match actually starts. So Darby drop kicks Joe in the corner. Joe rolls out of the ring. Darby jumps at Joe, but Joe catches him and side slams him into the steel steps. Darby beats the count, but Joe runs the length of the ring on the apron, smashing his face and then into the ring post. Then just basically tosses him to the floor. Darby makes it back again, but just rolls out. Joe goes after him. Darby keeps trying to escape, but can barely stay on his feet. He catches Joe when they get back in the ring, but Joe headbutts him down and goes to work. Darby manages to get a sleeper on one time, but Joe just falls back on him. Darby attacks his eyes, but Joe sweeps his legs out. Joe then does a cross-legged double knee breaker to Darby. Now that looked cool. And then kicks him down, followed by a senton with Darby's legs still trapped under him. He locks on a single leg crab on the hurt knee, but Darby actually manages to reach the ropes. Joe sets him up for the muscle buster, but Darby slides out, shoves Joe into the turnbuckle. Joe locks in the choke again, but Darby flips over for a 2 count. He gets that rear naked choke on again, but Darby pushes him into the turnbuckle, hits a code red on Samoa Joe, 2 coffin drops, and he wins the match.
Wins
and
it.
your new TNT champion is Darby Allin. And Sting comes down and hugs him as confetti flies through the ring.
Yeah, wow. I did not see this one coming. I did not say Darby Allin was going to beat Joe. I thought, yeah, they're gonna have an awesome match, but there's no way. Darby Allin took it to Joe. I have never seen someone slammed onto steel stairs while they're just in their regular position. I've never seen that. When he did it, I was like, what the heck is Darby Allin's problem? Like, why does he want to kill himself?
Yeah.
Right? Like this guy, like he threw everything he could at. He literally threw everything, his body, everything at Joe just to win,
Mhm.
right? And this match, like this was my match of the night, obviously, because it was the only match left. I called it. I said that this was going to be the one that's probably going to seal the show, and it did. It's I don't know what's going to happen with Joe and his storyline right now, but I'm happy for Darby Allin. Like this was a good match for him. This is a great showing. He took such a beating, but never once gave up. He has kept going and going and go. And Joe, oh my God, Joe plays a perfect role. Just kept attacking that knee. Those moves he was giving to him. I was like, okay, Darby's dead. Like literally, Joe has killed Darby, and then the kid wins. I was like, are you kidding me right now? He just won the belt.
Mhm.
Wow, they AEW got me. I didn't see this one coming. I did not
Yep.
see this one coming. So I really love this match. So
Yeah, no, it was a great
Darby
match.
Allin.
My match of the
Oof.
night too. Great match. The story was amazing. It was just so well done right from the beginning. That promo in the beginning of the
Mhm.
the night when Joe sets it up right to the in ring, and he's just like he's smashing Darby down. I mean, he killed Darby. Well, Darby killed himself to start the
So
match,
yeah.
and then he wiped him into the mat. It was just
Mhm.
like a systematic dissection of Darby Allin until all of a sudden you get an accidental turnbuckle ripped off,
Yep.
throws him into it, manages to land a couple quick moves to him, and there you go. Darby Allin's your new TNT champion. Great match. Highly recommended for people
Yeah.
to check out. Well done, well told story. Hometown crowd just going nuts for Darby
Yeah.
Allin. Right. I
Yeah.
mean, the crowd really helped this match too. Great send off, go home moment. Sting giving him the big hug, right? Confetti everywhere. There was like some woman I saw in the back was grabbing a piece of confetti and like putting it away, obviously going to keep it. So yeah, good moment, good moment. Way to end the show. Way to end the
Yeah.
show.
No.
Yep.
It was,
So,
and I mean, from a day of watching like some really great wrestling,
mhm,
this match was really awesome,
yep.
really awesome. So that it was a good way to end their first new show of the year, given that there were some segments that were what kind of stupid, but
Yeah.
like this was a great end. Like I don't know where the story is going
Hmm.
at all. I don't know where
Right.
this is going, right? Because I was convinced, oh well, Wardlow's gonna come back and take the belt from Joe.
Right.
Well, Joe doesn't have the belt anymore,
Exactly.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I'm not sure what happens to Wardlow. I kind of don't care what happens to Wardlow, to be honest. Samoa Joe might be just heading back to ROH now with that
Oh
ROH
yeah.
TV title, so we might not see too much Samoa Joe anymore.
Boo.
I know. And then we're gonna get Darby Allin with the belt. But Darby Allin's a great TNT champion, so
Mhm,
I'm happy with
mhm.
this. It's a good
Yes.
decision. I'm excited to see the kinds of matches because Darby Allin's the kind of guy who's gonna come out there week after week and defend the belt.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
this belt has been the main event 2 weeks in a row, and that's really interesting. So, hey, good stuff. Next week, I doubt it'll be the main event because I got a sneaking feeling the main event may be a certain Escalera de Muerte.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
I have a
anything?
feeling.
Oh,
I have a feeling we're gonna start. So now Darby Allin has the belt. I have a feeling Jay Lethal's gonna challenge him for that.
quite
We're gonna get
possibly.
another singles match between these two.
For that belt, yeah, that'd be great if like there's no outside
No other
interference and all
outside
the
interference. Yeah,
shenanigans stop.
yeah,
I'd love to see the two of them go at it.
because
And there's all
they're so
kinds of
good.
opponents that would be
Yeah,
absolutely great for him.
for
You know
Darby.
what I'd like to see? A sustained match between Darby Allin and Hook. Something that goes
Yeah,
longer than like 3 minutes for Hook.
yeah, that's
Because I
fair.
mean, Hook could like just dissect Darby Allin.
Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin.
Yeah, that would be
There's
pretty great too.
yeah,
I'd be a
Jungle
Konosuke
Boy needs a
Takeshita
belt.
versus Darby Allin.
Well, Konosuke would just take that belt if that's the case. Konosuke would just take that belt. But yeah, no, a lot of stuff, possibilities, I should say. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, pretty decent episode of Dynamite.
Hmm.
Did anything on this make the Omega level for you?
No, I don't think anything made the Omega level. I really did like the Joe and Allen match. I thought it was a great end to the show, but nothing Omega level. Like we saw Omega level today. So I mean, sorry, nothing on the show with Omega level.
Right. We saw Super Saiyan Omega level today.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, did you like my reference there? Did
I
you like
did.
my Dragon
I
Ball Z
did.
reference? That was pretty good, eh?
I actually watched the What Culture review of Wrestle Kingdom 17, and Simon Miller actually said, I'm not only giving the Kenny Omega Ospreay match a golden, so he gives it ups, and he's like, I'm not only giving it a golden up, I'm giving it a platinum. He's like, it's
Nice.
that good, and it was.
Yep. And Dave Meltzer tweeted that this match exceeded his expectations for it. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. So I have to agree with you. Just to polish off Dynamite here, nothing Omega level on
No,
this for me either, but a good show.
good
Definitely
show.
worth checking out. There's some damn good wrestling on this show tonight. In spite of some of the silly segments and
Yeah.
talking, there was some damn good wrestling on it. It's definitely worth watching. Good weekly show.
Yeah, I would say the wrestling that was on the show itself was pretty good. Was pretty
Yep.
good. Like it ranged from good, the women's wrestling
Mhm.
match, to excellent with the Darby Allin and Joe showing, right? So
Right.
yeah, it was a good show overall.
Indeed.
The other segments, I mean, the talking segments, not so much, but this is not AEW talking. This is AEW wrestling.
Exactly. So we actually got some all elite
Wrestling.
wrestling. Yes. Speaking of wrestling, we have a couple loose ends to tie up from Wrestle Kingdom to talk about. The first is just very quickly before we
Mhm,
turn to the press conferences, which I did watch.
mhm.
Um, Match lengths. How long do you think Kyrie and Tam went?
So I was listening to, I think, Wrestling Observer about
Mm-hmm.
this. I think it went five. I mean, remember I said to you, if
Yep.
that match went over 6 minutes, I'd be a little surprised. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it went 5:57 or something
It
like
went
that.
5:56. You're almost dead
56, yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
You know what though? What was really cool to see
Mhm.
was like a ton of the women on the Stardom roster all tweeted out their support of the match afterwards. And it was just a really classy giant show of support for those two. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
just thought,
the match itself. So you're not gonna like this, but when I was listening to Wrestling Observer about the match lengths, most of the matches didn't hit double digits until the last three. And I
mm-hmm,
didn't realize that. They mostly had like nine, up to
yep,
nine. And they said the reason that the women's match was a little bit shorter was because they had to do that
yep.
segment, right? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm
yeah,
well aware of what happened and
yeah,
why, which is just utterly ridiculous. I get what they're doing. And I mean,
yeah.
so many people were so excited for her being here. Like the Acclaimed, I do not like her being there. So anyway, I may be this weird exception in the wrestling world, but yeah, that's just not my thing, guys. Not my thing. I will take Julia versus Shuri all day next to that. How long do you know the other match lengths then?
No, I don't have them. I didn't write them
Which was
down.
longer, Omega Ospreay or Okada and White?
Omega Osprey.
It was just barely.
Well, and I didn't feel it at any
I
single
know.
point.
34 minutes, 38 seconds that match went. Okada and White, 33 minutes and 3 seconds. But if someone had asked me which match went longer, I would have thought it was Okada and White.
Wait, you trying to tell me that the Okada White match wasn't a 60-minute Iron Man match? Because that's what it felt like.
Yeah, it did. It kind of felt like a 60-man Iron Man match between The Miz and MJF, but no, with much better wrestling. Sorry,
Much
my
better
all
wrestling. Yeah,
apologies to Okada
yeah.
and White. You guys wrestle very well. So yeah, it was kind of slow. I'm being facetious.
Yeah.
But there were some press conferences,
hmm
and you told me to go check out that Will Ospreay press conference, and I followed it up with the Kenny Omega press
hmm
conference. Will's press conference, what can I say?
hmm
I mean, that emotion when he's just saying, they ask him straight up, right? Well, what's next? Or like, have you got any questions for me? Like, no. And he goes, I got a question.
hmm
What's the point?
Yep.
And I mean, he gets really emotional talking about his sacrifices and where it goes. And he's just like, I'm done. Like, he literally cries,
Yeah.
right? And he's talking about being done sacrificing, right? And like my wife was listening to this while I was watching, and she goes, "Is he quitting?"
It
Right? And
sounded
she
like
goes,
it.
"WWE will take him." I'm like, "No, never."
WWE.
I don't know. I think she just knows how to like bug me. But anyway, the so we'll put a very emotional promo, and then he has a moment where he gathers himself
hmm
and he says, I'm going to give it one more year, one more year of sacrificing. That's it. And he leaves. And I'm like, wow,
hmm
wow. And this totally sets up what we were talking about
Yep.
in our review podcast, right?
Yep.
Totally sets it up. This is going to be his year where he has to prove himself. Amazing, amazing,
hmm
amazing promo. Like just amazing. What this guy can do with his emotions, amazing. I mean, what did you think of it?
No, I said it earlier. It's something you have to see. So I really did feel for him, like what he was talking about. Like he made it real. Like he brought up everything. He's like he's right. He sacrificed everything for this outcome,
Mhm.
right? You know, he said you're told that if you work hard enough, you'll get everything. He's like, haven't I given everything,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I was like, man, now I feel bad. Now I feel bad that Kenny beat you. But
Hmm.
like, but he's totally right. I love the one more year. That's it.
Yep. Yeah,
One more year.
exactly.
So yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna be a big build.
Yep. And since it's Kenny Omega, would you like to recap Kenny's promo for us?
Well, Kenny's promo and I should say Kenny and Don,
Yes.
their promo is really did put over Ospreay big time. They
Hmm.
they they said he was they literally called him like the more talented wrestler. Like he has everything
Hmm.
except but I think Kenny said you could win 364 days in the year,
Yep.
but I'm the one who will win that one time where it matters the most. And I'm
Hmm.
like, holy crap,
Yep.
fully playing that heel, right? And just calling it the way it is, like, you know, everything they said, even though they're trying to be so mean, was very, very complimentary to Will
Yep.
Ospreay, right? You can tell they're building him to like the biggest star possible, right?
Hmm.
Like you know, we joke about this. Kenny Omega is saving New Japan
Well, I don't know if
pro
he's
wrestling.
saving New
He's
Japan Pro
saving
Wrestling.
it.
He's not saving it
He's
from what?
he's building up Will Ospreay to heights he's never going to be able to
But
see
that's
without
not
Kenny
say
Omega.
that's making Will Ospreay a
No,
star.
no, he's saving.
It's not like New Japan was going to die if Will
They
Ospreay wasn't
probably
turned
would.
into
I mean, if they're having matches like Okada and Jay White, then please put me to
the
sleep forever.
fans were
The
very
fans,
happy
the
with
fans did
Kazuchika
love it,
Okada.
but
Okay.
but Will Ospreay I think can draw a lot more international wise,
If you're
right?
talking about international eyes, absolutely
Yeah.
Will Ospreay is
So,
important to
and,
New
and I
Japan.
think New Japan needs that right now, right? Because I mean, New Japan's not going to compete right now with like WWE and I guess AEW when it comes to this kind of stuff, right? Because AEW is hitting like Europe soon next year, this year, I think, right?
Yep.
They're going over
Hmm.
there. So I think that, you know, this is going to be a huge build for Ospreay.
Hmm.
I don't know what they're going to do, to be completely honest with you. I don't know how they're going to start the build and what exactly is going to happen, but yeah, I'm interested. I'm kind of thinking this is like, again, that this is definitely going to be the storyline of the year, regardless of what happens with other things. I think this is will stay the storyline of the year.
How does anyone beat that Will Ospreay promo?
um I don't know. I couldn't tell you an
I
answer to that.
know
I don't know
it
how
was
anyone would beat that.
it was just so real.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it would have made Eddie Kingston and John Moxley proud, right? It's just,
And that's it.
you
That's
know,
I can tell you how someone can beat the Will Ospreay promo, and it's not even the Will Ospreay promo. It's if somehow this year AEW decides to put that belt eventually on Eddie Kingston, I think is the only way you're going to
oh
see someone
yeah,
more emotional, because
yeah.
like we know Will and Kenny and these guys, they love wrestling. But if there's one person who doesn't realize wrestling is scripted or whatever, it's Eddie Kingston, right?
Eddie Kingston.
And
Yeah.
and like I don't like that's the only person I would ever see be
Hmm.
able to maybe challenge, not challenge, but like channel that pure emotion
Yeah.
and sell it to the fans that this means
Hmm.
everything to me, right? And
Yeah.
he's the only person that I could think
Yeah.
else to count. But no, like if that doesn't happen, then no, I don't think there
Yeah.
is anybody else that can do it.
I mean, what a start to the year, though.
Yeah,
What a
start
start
to the
to the
year.
year. Yeah,
Agreed.
just insane. I mean, 2023, this is going to be one of the best years in professional wrestling I think we're going to get, other than the fact that I have to put up with Sasha Banks in a stardom ring.
Yeah,
So,
you're gonna have to watch her, I guess, on the pay-per-views. Is that where she's showing up? She's like a MJF. She just shows up on the
yeah.
pay-per-views.
Well, that's the good news, right? Because that also means, you know, she's not in the Triangle Derby. There's like a trios tournament going on in Stardom right now. It's their first
Mhm.
one ever. So they looked at AEW and went, "Hey, let's do a trios tournament." So they are.
That's doing good. Like those 6 guys are doing well in that
Yeah,
tournament. So
and they've got some damn good teams in this tournament. So I'm very much looking forward to getting back to my Stardom house shows and watching some good Stardom wrestling in gymnasiums and sumo halls and places like that. So yep, I will be very happy. My little elitist self will be crawling back into my wrestling hole, watching some New Japan Strong in that little arena they've got out in LA.
well, the dojo. Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? I honestly don't know like how Sasha Banks factors into the Stardom thing. I just know she's challenging for the belt, for the New Japan belt. But like, does she show up on the regular shows? Does she
No.
like exactly? I don't think they paid for that, right? They can't
No, of
afford
course
that.
not. She's not making like 27 appearances with Stardom or something. She's not showing up at like some back township in Japan to wrestle
Yeah,
some matches in front of 300 people in a gym, right? It's just she's
that's
way bigger than
yeah. I was
that,
gonna say that's
right?
below her, right?
Yeah,
So
that's just mid. That's mid. Right. Although those women
so
go out there and give their hearts in every single one of those matches, but
and Ospreay does it. So I mean, he does it all the time,
yes,
right? So it's
exactly, exactly,
and
exactly,
even
exactly.
like Kenny wrestled in Dark the other day. So
Yeah,
it's like
precisely. And they had to literally stop John Moxley from doing that week after week, right? So Mox, all these guys who just love wrestling for the sake of wrestling. Yeah.
she's all about the money, right? So
Yeah, she really is. It's kind of she's got the right last name. She's got the right last name right
Monet.
now. Mercedes Monet. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, that move she did to
Yeah, yeah.
Kyrie, and then we went, what the hell was that? Well, there's a video released of her practicing it, and she botched the move on Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, oh, not surprised. Not
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah. Good job. Good job. Maybe we'll account it up to nerves, but yeah, anyway, I'm anyway. Well, that about wraps it up. Would you like to close us out again tonight, Krishna?
I think I've closed it out once today. I think I'm good. You can close it out today.
Okay. Well, as the god of pro wrestling himself always says, goodbye, everybody. Mwah! And good night. Bang.
Good night, everyone.